The Tale of the Mosquito. There was a couple who loved each other very much. When they first got married, they swore to stay together and not leave each other. If unfortunately one of them dies, the other will die and go to the underworld to have friends. Not long after, the young wife was suddenly taken away by death. No one can fully describe the husband's painful situation. He tried to commit suicide several times, but was stopped and closely guarded by his family members. The day the wedding was about to take place, a Taoist priest came to show him the magic of bringing back the dead, which, according to him, had been used by many people and was very successful. His magic is not difficult, it just requires a little courage and perseverance. This means that the living person hugs and transfers his warmth to the corpse 3 times a day. If you keep doing this without taking a day off, then in just about 3 months and 10 days the dead person will come back to life. The husband thanked the Taoist and did exactly as he was told, hoping to bring his lover back to the world. Every day he hugged his wife, transferring his heat and breath to the cold corpse. But 3 days later, the stench of the corpse spread throughout the neighborhood, making it unbearable for everyone. They rushed to his house and forced him to bury him immediately. Reluctantly, the husband asked his neighbors to cut bamboo to help him make a raft so he could take his wife's body to another place. Many people kindly helped the guy in this. In just half a day, he carried his wife's body away. The raft drifted along the water forever. The husband still cherishes his wife every day. That corpse still looked like someone was sleeping. The guy's heart was full of hope. Arriving at a certain place, he set up his raft next to a large grassy area and set out to cook. By chance, while collecting firewood, he met an old man. Seeing the old man walking alone with a cane in the middle of a desolate landscape with white hair and beard, imagining that there was nothing out of place, the young man was surprised. He was thinking when suddenly the old man was standing in front of him. Immediately understanding that it was an immortal Buddha, he quickly fell down at the old man's feet and told the story, not forgetting to pray to the old man to bring his wife back to life. That old man was the Buddha. Seeing the guy pleading with all his might, he took pity on him, followed him down to the raft, and told him to prick his finger and drop 3 drops of blood into his wife's mouth. Suddenly the woman moved her lips and slowly sat up as if she had just woken up from a dream. Before leaving, the Buddha asked his wife, "This guy will lend me 3 drops of blood so you can be revived. So does his family love him?" Before the woman's firm oath, she said, "Nothing to do. If you don't love him anymore, just return 3 drops of blood to him." Seeing that they were eager to return to their homeland, the Buddha called a giant crocodile from the abyss to carry them away. After half a day of crossing the river, the crocodile was hungry. He told the couple to go on foot and rest so he could find something to eat. The couple took each other to the restaurant. In the shop that day there was a luxurious customer. He saw that his wife's beauty was so beautiful that no one could match her. He suddenly became sexually immoral and attempted to usurp her. He wandered closer, holding out samples of silk and jewelry to pretend to greet customers, but in reality he was courting a beautiful woman. He said that in the boat he parked nearby, there were many other very precious and cheap items, and wanted to invite them down to see. But the husband doesn't care at all. After finishing the meal, he left his beloved guest behind, took his wife to the deserted wharf, and waited at the meeting place with the crocodile. They sat under the shade of a tree and chatted for a while, then because they were so tired, they fell asleep without knowing it. They also did not expect that behind them, the merchant was still following them incessantly. When he saw the two of them sleeping, he went quietly to wake up his wife and invited her to get on the boat and park nearby so he could give her a piece of jewelry. "My boat is only 10 steps away. You won't have to wait long." Hearing that, the woman's heart suddenly felt moved. She stood up and followed the merchant down to the boat. In just a blink of an eye, following the owner's signal, the crew of the merchant boat lifted anchor and set sail for the boat to flee. Talking about crocodiles, when they surfaced to the rendezvous point, they saw that the husband was alone, still living there. Sleeping. The crocodile woke him up and asked him something. He was bewildered and didn't understand. Suddenly, he blamed the crocodile for eating his wife. To clear his doubts, the crocodile told him to put a stick through his mouth and stick it in his stomach to see if he could see. The guy did so, only to see that the crocodile's stomach was full of fish bones and pebbles, only to realize he was wrong. Looking everywhere but not finding his wife, he returned to the wharf, held his head and cried bitterly. The crocodile took pity on him and told him to ride on his back and then raced away, chasing the passing boats to find their whereabouts. After a few inquiries, people said that a merchant ship had just passed by, with a young and beautiful woman in it. They described her facial features and appearance, and it was true that she was his wife. The crocodile then tried to chase after him. When he saw his wife sitting in the passenger boat, the husband said to her, "Just jump out here. I can't live away from you. I will make you happy." But the wife answered her husband, "Go home. I have to help him. He forgave me." Then gave her husband a package of gold. "Please accept this and consider me dead." Angry and disappointed, her husband threw the gold package into the water and asked the crocodile to take him back to find the Buddha. When Buddha met them, he immediately urged the crocodile to rush after the commercial boat so that the lovelorn guy could reclaim his 3 drops of blood. Let's talk about the woman who, after pricking her hand to get 3 drops of blood to pay her husband's debt, immediately fell down and died. The injured guest tried his best to cure him, but it was ineffective. Then he threw her body into the sea. But due to the Buddha's miracle, that woman transformed into a. Because of anemia, mosquitoes always secretly steal a little bit from each person to survive. 1. Vietnam also has the story of Luong Nhan, perhaps also from the story The Tale of the Mosquito. Luong Nhan is from where he came from. Vinh Yen married T Zan. His wife died. Luong Nhan was so hurt that he carried his wife's body with him and never left. Compassionate Buddha appeared and sprayed 3 mouthfuls of water to bring T Zan back to life. One day the couple had to go away and slept on a boat. While Luong Nhan was fast asleep, his wife left her husband for the boat owner. Luong Nhan met Buddha again. "Buddha told me to come and ask for 3 sips of water." After spitting, T Zan fell down and died. Luong Nhan then met Han Chan. The two got married and had a hard time making ends meet. One day Luong Nhan was away. A stranger saw Han Chan's beauty and immediately flirted with her but was rejected by her. To bribe, the guest asked for 2 pieces of betel and gave her 200 taels of silver. Han Chan accepted, and when her husband returned, he told the truth. Luang Nian suspected his wife and intended to kill her. His wife ran away, disguised herself as a boy, and went to study at a temple in Sun Tay. Because she was beautiful and studied well, Nun T Van fell in love with Han Chan and started dating. After a few years, Han Chan took the name Luang Chan and passed the exam, and the king married her to the princess. Han Chan asked for permission to return to his hometown to hold a vegetarian festival. Luang Nian was working as a farmer at that time. When he heard there was a festival, he brought vegetables to sell. Husband and wife meet. Buddha transformed Luang Nian into a beautiful and wise young man. Han Chan brought her husband back to the court to clarify the truth. The king married the princess to Luang Nian as his second wife. T Van was also welcomed as the third wife, too. The story The Tale of the Mosquito is similar to some Western fairy tales. First of all, a German fairy tale from a collection. Once upon a time there was a courageous soldier who married a princess. The day they got married, both sides agreed to live and die together. If the wife dies before the husband will bury himself alive with his lover. On the contrary, if the husband dies before the wife will do the same. Shortly after, the sick wife passed away. The husband decided to die with his wife, so he crawled into the grave next to the body. While waiting for death, he suddenly saw a snake crawling near his wife, so he sat up and killed the animal. After that, another snake came looking for him, saw that his comrade was dead, and returned with 3 leaves to bring him back to life. The man picked up 3 leaves and imitated the snake's method of healing, making his wife also live. Then, he took his wife home and entrusted the 3 precious leaves to a trusted servant. Since being resurrected, the young wife naturally changed her feelings towards her husband. She doesn't love her husband anymore. Once the couple went on a cruise at sea, and the wife fell in love with the ship's captain. While her husband was sleeping soundly, she and the ship's captain lifted him up and threw him into the sea. Thanks to the faithful servant picking him up and using 3 leaves to revive him, the man saw his wife's ungrateful heart and wickedness. In the end, he punished his wife to death. In the Italian fairy tale, there are also 2 stories about a husband bringing his young wife back to life. In the first story, the husband sits guard at night at a temple, which contained his wife's coffin. Suddenly he saw a snake crawling next to the coffin, so he killed it. But the snake came back to life, thanks to another snake bringing a type of grass that brings the dead back to life. He then used that grass to save his wife's life. In the second story, the husband kills a lizard that approached his wife's coffin, but the animal was saved by its mother thanks to a rose. He then saved his wife with that rose. A French fairy tale also has content similar to the stories told. A young man named Rose got married, but unfortunately 2 months after the wedding, his wife fell ill. Then passed away. He missed his wife so much that he cried every afternoon at her grave. One day, as usual, he entered the cemetery. Suddenly a ghost appeared and gave him a silver box with a rose inside. Ma told him that if he wanted to bring his wife back to life, he should pry open the coffin and then put the flower on her nose 3 times. He did as he was told, and his wife came back to life. Shortly after, the husband had to go to Paris to meet his younger brother. When I arrived and saw that you were seriously ill, I was so busy treating you that I forgot to write a letter to my wife as promised." The wife was surprised that her husband must have died. At the same time, a third officer in the Dragonhead army made a fake letter informing her that her husband had died. Then he plotted to marry that woman. After a while, my illness improved somewhat. When Hua Hong returned, his wife had left home to get married. He was very sad and left the province to join the army. He did not expect to become a dragon-headed soldier, and even more unexpected to become the personal secretary of the mandarin who took his wife. When he met his ex-wife, he knew she didn't love him anymore. One day Hua Hong was invited to a party by a mandarin, and while eating, someone secretly put a set of silver spoons and forks in his pocket. Next, he was searched and sentenced to death for theft. In prison, the guy bribed an old soldier with money, gave him the ghost's silver box the day before, and told him how to bring himself back to life after being shot. After he died, the old soldier spent all his money before thinking about saving him, but he still came back to life when a flower was placed in his nose. At that time, in a nearby castle, there was a princess who turned into a monster at night. The object kills the guards. Rose came to save her from the witch's poison. He married her and then inherited the throne. The new king traveled around the country to review the army. Visiting the old Dragonhead soldiers, the king said they were still missing one person. When people brought the old soldier, his benefactor, to the king, he took off the crown of the third official, who had taken his wife the day before, and attached it to the old soldier. Then the king forced the third officer and his wife to burn at the stake. 3. The Arabs have a story about women's deceit. An Israelite had a beautiful wife, whom he loved very. Suddenly his wife died, he came to the grave and never left. Jesus saw him crying next to him and asked what happened. When he heard him tell his story, God said, "Do you want to bring her back to life?" Seeing that he said he wanted nothing more than that, God resurrected a black man. He quickly said, "Oh no, my wife is in the grave over there." God again caused the black man to die and breathed his wife back to life. He was so happy, then told his wife, "I've been guarding my grave for so long that I forgot to eat and sleep. Now I'm too tired to rest a bit." Then he laid his head on his wife's leg and talked, gradually falling asleep. Meanwhile, a handsome prince rode by, and the woman put her husband's head on the ground and followed. The prince let him sit behind her. The husband woke up and did not see his wife, so he followed and caught up with the horse's heels. "This is my wife," he said, "please leave it behind." His wife said, "I belong to the king." The prince stopped his horse and said, "Are you jealous of my wife?" "No. This is my wife. God just helped me bring her back to life." Suddenly Jesus appeared. He shouted, "Did you just resurrect this man for me?" His wife lied, "Lie, I am the prince's wife." God asked, "Are you the one who was resurrected by God's will?" "Yes, by the breath of God." "Then give me back what I gave." The woman exhaled and died immediately. God said, "If anyone wants to see a person who died unjustly last time, be saved and die meaningfully next time, then look at that black man. But want to see a person who died righteously last time, be saved and die this time if you're unjust. Look at this woman." The husband vowed not to marry again, then stayed in the desert to practice until his death. 4. In Lu Tri Kai Ki, There is the story of Mr. Vu, a filial man, somewhat similar to the tale of the mosquito. Here, the ungrateful person is the man. He went to the capital to seek fame, became sick and vomited blood, was deceived by servants, and was about to die along the way. Thanks to a woman who is a loyal fox, gave him a magic pill to cure his illness, and from then on he became rich and prestigious. The two became husband and wife. But then he criticized his wife for being old and took a woman named Vong as his concubine. A long time ago, his wife also heard the news, so she came and became close sisters with the Vong family. Seeing that her husband was ungrateful and trying to kill her, the wife wanted her husband's pills back. After he vomited, the old disease gradually recurred and died. The Khmer people also have the story The Tale of the Mosquito, but the content is completely different. In the past, mosquitoes were created by the god Shiva, and their body was like the body of a bird. Snout like a dog's snout. They fly in flocks, specializing in eating human flesh, causing them to die of fatigue. One day, a fairy told humans to light a fire around their place to prevent mosquitoes from coming. Unable to do anything to humans, mosquitoes asked god Shiva to make themselves very small so they could secretly eat them. But there was nothing he could do about it because whenever he saw a painful bite, he immediately hid it. Mosquitoes went to pray to the god Shiva again. God gave each animal a trunk instead of a snout to suck blood quickly and without anyone knowing. From there, today's mosquitoes arose. 5. First. According to Lang de Lands. Books cited. 2. According to the stories of northern people. 3. According to Kazkan, Kasqueen. Folk Tales of the Loran Region, Volume 1, 4. According to Bassett. 1001 Arabic Tales, Tales and Legends, Volume 2. 5. According to Cambodian Folk Tales. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.